Steve Jobs was a remarkable man who did incredible things. He was born on February 24, 1955, in a city called San Francisco. However, his biological parents, Joanne Skeebel and Abdul Fattah Jandali, were young and unmarried, which made it challenging for them to raise a child. So, they made the difficult decision to give him up for adoption. He was adopted by a loving family when he was just a baby. They were a loving and caring couple who were unable to have children of their own. When they adopted Steve, he became their son, and they became the family he grew up with. His adoptive parents, Paul and Clara Jobs, raised him with care and love. They lived in a regular neighborhood in California. But little did they know that they were raising a future tech legend. As a kid, Steve was always curious. He loved taking things apart to see how they worked. His dad, Paul, was a mechanic, and they spent time together in the garage. While other children played outside, Steve was absorbed in understanding the intricacies of technology. He was determined to unlock the mysteries of the machines that surrounded him. This early exposure to machines and tools ignited Steve's interest in technology. High school wasn't easy for Steve. He didn't like following all the rules. He thought differently and didn't always fit into the traditional school system. But he was very smart and always asked lots of questions. After high school, Steve went to college, but it didn't quite fit him. He dropped out because he wanted to learn things in his own way. Although he was a dropout, he continued attending classes that interested him, demonstrating his passion for learning. He audited interesting classes like calligraphy, which is a fancy way of writing with beautiful letters. Little did he know that this class would later help design Apple's products. In 1974, Steve went on a journey to India in search of spiritual wisdom. This trip changed the way he looked at life and work. He brought back a sense of purpose and a belief in thinking differently. Then something amazing happened. Steve met a friend named Steve Wozniak, and together, they built a computer in Steve Jobs' garage. This computer was called the Apple I, and it was the start of something big. Steve and his friend founded Apple Computer Incorporated in that very garage. Their mission was to create computers that regular people could use easily. They believed that technology should be for everyone, not just experts. This marked the beginning of the company we know today as Apple. In 1984, they introduced the Macintosh computer, which was super easy to use. Because you could click on pictures instead of typing confusing commands. Steve Jobs had a special way of presenting new products. He was not just a boss, he was a visionary for the future. He cared deeply about how Apple's products looked and how they worked. He wanted everything to be not just useful but also beautiful. He made people excited about technology. He cared about how things looked and worked. He wanted technology to be not just functional but also beautiful. However, Steve faced tough times. There was a period when he left Apple due to disagreements. There was a time when he had differences with the people at Apple and left the company. But he didn't give up. He came back and introduced groundbreaking products like the iPod, which changed how we listen to music, and the iPhone, which transformed how we communicate. Steve's legacy goes beyond gadgets. He showed us that it's okay to be different, to think outside the box, and to follow our dreams. He believed that innovation and imagination could change the world. Steve Jobs died on October 5, 2011, because of a rare kind of pancreatic cancer. He had been dealing with health problems for some time. In 2004, he had surgery to remove the tumor, and in 2009, he had a liver transplant. Despite these health challenges, he continued working at Apple and contributing to the company's innovations until shortly before he passed away. Steve Jobs' death was a big loss because he played a huge role in changing the world of technology and design.